Hello and welcome to the Midday Update. These are the top headlines from our newsroom today. Supreme Committee to meet on Thursday to decide on restrictions. The pandemic is not yet over, says the Health Minister. Sri Lankan expat going for COVID jab drowns in Wadi. Schools to reopen after students' vaccination. Oman plans countrywide passenger railway network. ESO calls for proper disposal of waste to protect wildlife. UK reports 131 coronavirus deaths, highest since March 17. Bangladesh records highest single-day deaths of 258 from Covid-19. Nepal confirms new mutant of Delta variant of Covid-19. Omani athletes to arrive in Tokyo today. These were the top headlines from our news studio today. Let's see how the weather condition looks like in the Sultanate in our weather update.
I'm Mantra Bose with your daily dose of weather, and we're reporting from the TFM studio in Al Khair. Today we're talking about heat waves. Did you know that a heat wave hit Northern California in September 2017, straight up turning all the grapes into raisins because of the scorching heat which evaporated all the water from the berries? That was our fact for today. Now let's take a look at the weather update. An alert has been issued by Oman Meteorology and Civil Aviation Authority indicating poor visibility due to dust and thunder showers. Seas are also predicted to be rough along the Arabian Sea coast. Apart from that, we've got partly cloudy to cloudy skies along the Dhofar coast and adjoining mountains with the possibility of a slight drizzle. The rest of the Sultanate will see mainly clear skies with the possibility of convective cloud formation and isolated thunder showers over the Al Hajar Mountains towards the afternoon. There's also possibility of cloud advection over the Arabian Sea and thus blowing winds over deserts and open areas. With that, let's take a look at what the weather will be like throughout the Sultanate. Muscat will be partly cloudy with temperatures between 36 and 40 degrees Celsius. Musandam will be sunny with temperatures between 34 and 39 degrees Celsius. North Al-Batana will be partly cloudy with temperatures between 36 and 43 degrees Celsius, and South Al-Batana will also be partly cloudy with temperatures between 35 and 45 degrees Celsius. Al-Buremi will be partly cloudy with temperatures between 35 and 47 degrees Celsius. Al-Dahira will be partly cloudy with temperatures between 33 and 45 degrees Celsius. Al-Dakhla will be partly cloudy with temperatures between 31 and 42 degrees Celsius. North Al-Sharqiya will be partly cloudy with temperatures between 30 and 43 degrees Celsius, and South Al-Sharqiya will be partly cloudy with temperatures between 34 and 41 degrees Celsius. Al-Wusta will be partly cloudy with temperatures between 28 and 41 degrees Celsius. Dhofar, there is a possibility of thunder showers and rain, and temperatures between 25 and 28 degrees Celsius.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. Now, before we get into the details of the local stories for the day, let's see how the COVID-19 situation looks like in the Sultanate today. The Ministry of Health has announced the registration of 14 death cases due to coronavirus in Oman today. This has taken the total death toll in the Sultanate to 3,802. The health officials have also extended their deepest condolences to the families of the deceased. Moreover, the Ministry of Health has also announced the registration of 580 new coronavirus cases in Oman today. With this figure, the total confirmed cases in the Sultanate now stands at 295,535, which also includes the total recoveries of 277,632, as well as total deaths of 3,802. The health officials in the last 24 hours have also registered 622 recoveries. The Ministry of Health has urged everyone living in the Sultanate to follow precautionary measures issued by the Supreme Committee and the Ministry of Health. And now from a local desk. The Supreme Committee in charge of dealing with coronavirus pandemic will meet on Thursday to decide on the future course of action for preventing the spread of the pandemic in the Sultanate. On Tuesday, His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al Saidi, Minister of Health, indicated in an interview to Oman TV that the committee might consider a review of current restrictions in place. He pointed out that gatherings were seen as the main means of transmission of COVID-19. The best treatment is prevention, since it is very difficult to produce a medicine for COVID-19, he said. Speaking about the ban on international travelers entering the Sultanate, he said each country has specific criteria for being selected for a travel ban. Travelers from more than 30 countries are restricted from entering the Sultanate, but many other countries have been removed from the list. His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al Saidi, who is the Minister of Health in the country, shared the latest updates on the COVID-19 pandemic in an interview with Oman TV last night. Some of the points are: number one, the current results pertaining to the number of COVID-19 cases is a result of the partial closure. For the numbers from the complete closure, we will need 10 to 14 days to know the results. Number two, the pandemic is not yet over. It is ongoing and the social and economic effects are clearly visible. The current level of burden borne by the health sector all across the world has exceeded all expectations. We came close to a health system's collapse when the total number of patients in ICUs crossed 500. The Supreme Committee had no choice but to opt for measures like complete closure when case numbers exceeded by several times the capacity of the health sector. 3. In the past few days, the number of patients being admitted directly to intensive care from their homes is very high. This indicates the severity of this disease. On partial and complete closures, I don't think there is any debate on the feasibility. Only the ignorant will deny the results. 4. Most cases in Oman today are of the fast-spreading Delta variant, and this strain affects people of all ages. It is also more severe than previous strains. And 5. Registration for the second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine will begin on Wednesday for those who have had their first dose at least 10 weeks ago. Now, Tyrone Thomas, a 31-year-old Sri Lankan national employed on Masira Island, was so scared of what would happen to him, his wife and young daughter if he was infected with COVID-19 that he made a 200-kilometer trip to Jalan Banibu Ali to get vaccinated. He was traveling to the town with his public relations officer and his colleagues when tragedy struck. Like many other vehicles, the one in which Tyrone's group was traveling also caught in the furiously fast wadis, a result of the heavy rain lashing many parts of Oman. The Sharqiya region, from where the group was returning, has borne the brunt of the adverse weather and flooding. Despite departing in a brand new four-wheel drive, the vehicle was unable to withstand the floods, said a well-wisher. Spotting the vehicle trapped by the surging waters, locals who lived in the area rushed to help those inside, while a Royal Oman Police helicopter circled overhead to try and extract them to safety. For a while, it seemed as if all would still be well. Rescue personnel, at great risk to their own lives, had managed to rescue all of his colleagues. Tyrone was mere inches from safety. Before the police could get to him, however, the four-wheel drive was hurled forwards by the raging waters, taking Tyrone along with it. Although he tried his hardest to cling onto life, he succumbed to the force of the wadi and drowned. Later, the rescue people located his body. The passing of Tyrone was also mourned by the ambassador of Sri Lanka to Oman. People who wish to take the second dose of their COVID-19 vaccine can register for the same from Wednesday, provided they have already been injected with the first dose at least 10 weeks ago, the Minister of Health, His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al Saidi, has said. In an interview with Oman TV, he added that ahead of the new school term, plans have been drawn up with the Ministry of Education to vaccinate 320,000 students between the ages of 12 and 18, with 96% of general diploma students having already been administered the vaccine. He said that we hope that before the start of the school year, students from the above sections have been given their second doses so that they can return to school as normal. He added that there has been a 75% decrease in patients admitted to COVID wards and intensive care units in government and private hospitals, owing to several reasons, including people following precautionary measures and adhering to the rules of lockdown. During the peak of this wave, we saw the highest single-day admission of 211 patients, said the minister, adding that as of Monday, July 26, the numbers of inpatients in hospitals and ICUs had not exceeded 50 people, reflecting a 75% decline in hospital admissions. Now, plans are being drawn up for a trail networking connecting Sib and Muscat to Sohar to help boost connectivity between the two cities. The passenger railway is part of the National Oman Spatial Strategy, commonly known as ONSS, a blueprint that looks at the planning of Oman cities for the next 20 years. The strategy is a framework to control and direct urban growth to improve connectivity between cities and maximize opportunities to invest in the potential of governorates. The rail line will also feed directly into a metro, which has been planned for Muscat, where it is expected to ply from Mathra to Sib. The upgraded transport facilities are part of the ONSS plan of developing multiple means of transportation and to encourage movement without using private vehicles, said a recent report. As part of the redevelopment of the capital, Ghala will be the center of its commercial activities, with revitalization for Mathra and Rui also planned. The ONSS also looks at allocating financial and regulatory incentives to certain sites that have specific economic functions to attract investments and promote growth. Areas that could be subject to these incentives include commercial areas such as the airport zone and Ghala, research facilities in places such as Al Khod and Halban, and industrial zones in Misfa and Rusail. The Environment Society of Oman, commonly known as ESO, has urged people to dispose of waste appropriately and to follow all national environmental laws to keep Oman a safe place for native wildlife. During ESO's vulture surveys, our field researchers came across this very upsetting sight of an entangled Bonelli's eagle. While the circumstances leading to this are not clear, one thing is, human waste can pose a significant threat to wildlife if not disposed of accordingly, as well as the illegal trade and hunting of wildlife, the ESO said in a statement. ESO added that to prevent more species from suffering the same fate as this bird, people should respect Oman's native wildlife. This can be done by disposing of trash appropriately, following all national environmental laws, and reporting dead or injured wildlife to local authorities. This was all from our local desk for today. It's time for us to take a quick commercial break, but stay tuned as we have more updates coming your way from International Desk. Welcome back to TTV, watching Midday Update, and now from my international desk. Britain on Tuesday reported 23,511 coronavirus cases, while 131 deaths have also been reported, which is the highest number of daily deaths since March 17. The total number of coronavirus cases in the country stands at 5,745,526, while 129,303 has succumbed to the coronavirus. New cases tally has continued to fall for the 7th day in the country, Xinhua reported. As we learn to live with the virus, we will keep doing everything in our power to break chains of transmission and stop the virus in its tracks. Daily contact testing will play a vital role in this, helping minimize the potential for disruption caused by rising cases while keeping staff protected, said Health Secretary Sajid Javed. The latest data came as workplace daily contact testing sites expanded to a total of 2,000 sites across the country, with prisons, waste collection and defense among the critical sectors prioritized for the newest sites, a statement released by the British government said. Now, Bangladesh on Tuesday recorded the highest single-day deaths of 258 from the COVID-19 pandemic, bringing the total to 19,779, said the country's Directorate General of Health Services. The official data showed 14,925 more new cases were recorded, taking the national tally to 1,194,752. A total of 52,478 samples were tested in the last 24 hours as of 8 a.m. The total number of recovered patients in the country stood at 1,022,414, including 12,439 new recoveries on Tuesday, said the DGHS. According to the official data, the fertility rate in Bangladesh is now 1.66% and the current recovery fell to 85.58%. The confirmed cases have been rising in Bangladesh since last month. To curb the virus transmission, Bangladesh on July 23rd re-entered a 2-week strict COVID-19 lockdown, and the army personnel have been deployed to patrol alongside civilian forces to maintain law and order. Nepal on Tuesday confirmed infection of a new mutant of COVID-19, which is Delta variant, as the cases continues to rise with the relaxation of prohibitory orders. Nepal's Ministry of Health and Population, commonly known as MOHP, confirmed the presence of Kappa variant, which is B.1.617.1, a variant of interest amongst others. The Himalayan nation already has reported cases of Alpha and Delta variants. All 47 samples tested recently were confirmed to be Delta variant. However, 3 of them are found to be new mutant known as K417N of the Delta variant, the ministry said in a release. It also added that it is said that the newly detected mutant of the Delta variant is more fatal than the mutants detected before. These mutants are likely to infect people with all age groups. The MOHP has urged all people to take extra precautions and follow health safety standards to avoid possible infection of this virus. The ministry has also asked all to prepare for the third wave of COVID-19, which experts have said would be far more challenging than the first wave and the second waves of the pandemic. Nepal on Tuesday itself recorded a total of 3,899 new cases of COVID-19, taking the national tally to 742,817. A total of 12,655 swab samples using RT-PCR method, of which 2,726 returned positive, and 4,863 people underwent antigen tests for the virus, of which an additional 1,173 tested positive. Once again, it's time for a quick commercial break, but stay tuned for more updates from a sports desk.
When were the first Olympics actually held? Although the modern-day Olympics began in 1896, the very first Olympics took place in ancient Greece in 776 BC. The ancient Olympics were held in Olympia, from where the event gets its name. While many of the Greek states regularly at war with each other, they had all agreed to a truce while the games were being held. The most prestigious of the sports at the ancient Olympics was the stadium, in which athletes raced each other around the track built with an arena, also called the stadium. It is this word that forms the root of the modern English Stadium. Other events included wrestling, long-distance running, boxing, and horse racing.
The Sultanat's fastest sprinter Barakat Al-Harthi and the only woman representing in Oman's delegation Mazoon Al-Alawi, accompanied with national head coach Mohammad Al-Houthi, will arrive in Tokyo today. The weightlifting team, represented by the teenage weightlifter Amir Al-Khanjari, along with his technical staff represented by coach Mazen Al-Badri and admin member Yusuf Al-Hassani, will be in Olympic Village on Wednesday. With the arrival of both athletics and weightlifting teams, all of the Sultanat's athletes are together in Olympic Village to play for the Sultanate in the 32nd Summer Olympic Games 2020 Tokyo, which is underway until August 8th. Mazoon Al-Alawi will lead the second presence of Oman's athletes in Tokyo 2020 Olympics, as she will compete in 100-meter sprint at Olympic Stadium on Friday. The youngster Amir Al-Khanjari will be the next athlete who will make his debut in the weightlifting competitions in the 81 kg category on Saturday at Tokyo International Forum. In his third consecutive presence in Olympic Games, Barakat Al-Harthi will be in action on Saturday in the 100-meter race at the Olympic Stadium. Oman will conclude participation in Tokyo 2020 Olympics through shooter Hamid Al-Khatri, who will vie in the 50-meter rifle 3 positions at Asaka shooting range on Monday. Talking on the lines of the Olympic Games that is still ongoing, the Chinese rowers safely bagged the women's quadruple sculls gold with a world best time of 6 minutes and 05.13 seconds today. Chen Yunqiu, Zhang Ling, Lia Yang and Kui Chiatong established a convincing lead before the final 500-meter and refreshed its Olympic best time set on home soil at the 2008 Games. The Russian Olympic Committee, commonly known as ROC team, comprising Angelina Melnikova, Vladislava Yurazona, Lilia Akhemova and 2021 European all-round champion Victoria Listunova, shone through and broke the decade-old USA dominance to win team gold in artistic gymnastics at ongoing Tokyo 2020 Olympics today. ROC won gold by 169.528, adding to their men's team title on Monday. Ariar Titmus of Australia set new Olympic record to win women's 200-meter freestyle gold at the Tokyo Olympic Games on Wednesday. Oman swimmer Isa Al-Adawi ended his debut in the 32nd Summer Olympic Games 2020 Tokyo as he came 6th with a time of 51.81 seconds in the preliminary qualification of men's 100-meter freestyle competitions on Tuesday at the Tokyo Aquatics Center. The national swimmer was assigned in Heat 3. His best timing is 51.69 seconds. Turkmenistan's weightlifter Polina Goryeva, who won her nation's first ever Olympic medal on Tuesday in the ongoing Tokyo Games, said she never thought about achieving the feat 2 years ago. Goryeva won a silver medal after lifting 217 kg in the women's 59 kg Olympic weightlifting event at Tokyo 2020. And lastly, a shocking news was reported yesterday by Olympics.com. American gymnast Simone Biles was pulled out from the rest of the team final of the Tokyo Olympics. The reigning champion played no further part in Tuesday's final, reported Olympics.com. Biles' withdrawal is a major blow for the US team. Last week, Biles became the first Olympic athlete to have her own customized hashtag emoji on Twitter. With this, let's have a look at the medal tally for today. We have come to the end of the episode for today, but stay tuned as we'll be back again tomorrow with more updates and latest news your way. Keep watching TTV.
You've just heard the live feed from the TTV studios on TFM 95.4. Let's talk.